Hola amigos, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my monthly wrap up of what I read in August. If you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Emma Bennet. I'm a UK based writer of contemporary romance and the occasional children's picture book. I am also writing my first Regency romance at the moment, as well as some non-fiction books for writers, and I am a freelance developmental editor. So this month has been a busy month, and I haven't read nearly as much as usual. I also didn't have any books that I was completely crazy about and that I thought were brilliant, except for one non-fiction book which I had read before, and I will get to. So yeah, just really busy month. Like, it's so nice to be sitting down with my cup of tea, which is delicious, because I am aching from my neck all the way down to my toes. Yesterday we went up Pen y Fan. So for those of you who don't know Wales at all, Pen y Fan is the largest peak in South Wales. There's like what's called the Granny route, which is an easier route, and then there's the Story Arms route, which is horrible, frankly. We took the Story Arms route, even though I said I would only come if we didn't take the Story Arms route, but series of mishaps anyway. So that's me aching from the waist down. From the waist up, we went climbing the day before yesterday, and so all of my torso is aching, particularly my upper arms. It's not good. Also, in front of me on the table here, all the climbing shoes are kind of airing. It's kind of stinky. It's not good. It's not good. So if you see me kind of go like that every now and again, it's because of that. The professionalism here is amazing. Anyway, yes, we also had, as well as lots of exercise and fun trips, we had visitors and just generally a lot going on, and I just didn't read as much as usual. But anyway, so if I start with the non-fiction book, so the first one was a book a week by Kate Hall, and this is the first in her self-publishing success series. So I'd never heard of Kate Hall. She does have a lot of books out, apparently, but bizarrely they're under different pen names, and she doesn't link them anywhere in the book, which I thought was a bit peculiar. Like, it seems a missed opportunity there. Whatever. This was the only book from my birthday haul that I actually got round to reading yet. So I got a load of amazing books for my birthday. I'm so looking forward to them, but I had library books that I needed to finish off before. So this was the only one of those that I got round to. So this is all about how she outlines and drafts a novel in 7 days. So she says that her first book took her 5 years to write, and the second one took months, and now she's able to do a complete first draft in just a week. So this isn't necessarily something that I would want to implement. That would be working way too quickly for me, but it definitely works for this author, and I really love to learn how other writers work and the different methods that they choose. I just find it fascinating. So she uses story beats to help her to outline, and she goes into how she does that. So there isn't a lot of kind of new information in this, particularly if you already know about story beats and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting to see how she works, how she implements these things. So yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed it. So next is the book that I said was brilliant, the only one that could be declared brilliant, although they were all good. And it is SEO for Authors by Estelle van der Velde. So I read this last month for Estelle's release, and I talked about it in my wrap up for last month, but I was lucky enough to win a paperback copy of it, which was wonderful, and it arrived a little while ago. So I reread it just because it is so useful. And later this month I have got 2 non-fiction books for writers coming out. I've got a book about Twitter, or X for writers, and also a guide to winning NaNoWriMo. So I'm really wanting to make sure that I make the best use of search engine optimization, which used to be something that I hated. But Estelle just breaks things down so well, giving all these fantastic tips and tricks and really actionable stuff that anybody, even someone who's not all that great with technology like myself, can implement. Most of them really, really easily. Is kind of just knowing about them. So this is hugely useful, and I'm so glad that I've got a paperback copy, because now I can highlight all of the important sections. I'm also going to be filming a video as part of a collaboration with my friend Andy from Self Pub with Andy. That should be out next week, I think, and we're going to be talking about our top takeaways from SEO for authors. So we're going to kind of do 5 things that we learned from it each and link the video, so that should be really, really good fun. So awesome. So now on to fiction. So all of these were library books and they were due back. So yeah, even though I didn't have as much time as usual for writing, I did manage to get these done, and I'll be taking them back later today. So the first one was Paige Toon's Only Love Can Hurt Like This. I think I have pretty much read everything that Paige has written. I'm a big Paige Toon fan. I especially love Chasing Daisy, which is one of her early ones, and Johnny Be Good. It's another very good one. So this is about a woman called Wren who she breaks up with her fiance and she goes to the US to stay with her dad for a little while for kind of a change of scenery, and ends up falling in love with this guy who whose family live next door. But there are complications. There are complications, and I didn't necessarily see all the twists and turns coming, which was cool. Paige Toon writes really emotional reads. They're really, really great, and she is fantastic at really making you believe that the couple are genuinely meant to be together, and that's what I really, really like about her books. So yeah, recommended. The next one, actually, do you mind if I have a sip of tea? I'll have a sip of tea. Make sure that you boop the like button if you haven't already while I'm having my sip of tea, and subscribed if you're not, because, you know, we have lots of fun here and you're going to want to be subscribed, I promise. Okay, next, Taylor Jenkins Reid, One True Loves, sorry, that's important, One True Loves. So I hadn't heard of this one before. It's a little bit of an older one, not really old. It's 2016. You can definitely see that her writing has matured since writing this. So the first line is just absolutely brilliant. Let me find it for you. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go. I am finishing up dinner with my family and my fiance when my husband calls. Go away, you like fly. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, yeah, so how can you not continue reading a book with a first line like that? That was just brilliant. So this is a story of Emma, and she is married to Jesse, and they're very happy. But then Jesse goes and disappears. There's a helicopter crash and he's presumed dead. And so Wren grieves for him for years, and then she eventually falls in love with somebody else and she's engaged to this other guy when it turns out that Jesse is not in fact dead. He's very much alive and coming back. Awkward much. So this, I mean, obviously this is like a really complicated topic to cover, and I felt that Taylor Jenkins Reid did a good job, but it's just so huge, like the emotions involved in this story. You know, I definitely cried. Yeah, and like it wasn't quite perfect for me. It was good, it was very good, but it wasn't quite perfect. But who could write perfectly with this storyline? Because it's a tricky one. It's a conundrum. It is. Okay, so next, Happy Place. This is the latest book by Emily Henry. So my favourite book by Emily Henry, and the one that I would recommend the most, is Book Lovers. Happy Place I really enjoyed. I particularly liked the heroine in it. I watched a really, really great review of this by Studio Lindsay, and I will try to remember to leave a link to that down in the description below, because She hits the nail right on the head. She says it like a lot better than I will. But basically, the couple were just so dysfunctional in it that you wanted them to be together, but like I also kind of felt you guys have got a lot of issues. Maybe you need to deal with those issues a little bit more, kind of before you're together. Yeah. So basically, what's her name? Did I say what her name was? Wynne is the chap in it, and I can't remember who the girl is. Let's see if we can find it, shall we? Harriet and Wynne have been together for ages, and they were engaged, and they're going for their yearly summer holiday with all their best friends, but they actually broke up a few months ago and they haven't told anybody, and now they've kind of been thrown back together again. And stuff was very much left unresolved by them, and it's like, why did they break up? And that's done really, really well. I liked the kind of going back and looking at their relationship and why it fell apart, and then kind of coming back to the present day and seeing what's going on between them then. So yeah, good relationship, a little bit dysfunctional, however. Right, the final one was the real one that confused me. I'm deeply confused, just with my feelings for this book. So I really, really love Agatha Christie. I like reading her mysteries, but I also just think that she was an incredible woman. I loved reading her two biographies and really like learning more about her. So this is a fictional account of what the author believes could have happened during the, I believe it was 11 days that Agatha Christie went missing in December of 1926. I'm not sure. Sorry about that dog. I don't know what's the matter. Hopefully he's fine. He doesn't seem very happy. Yeah, we'll try to ignore it. So completely fictional. I'm not sure that Agatha Christie would have approved of some of the situations that the author puts her in this book. So what I found a strange choice was that the book is written in the first person, and it's told from the perspective of Nan, who is the mistress of Agatha Christie's husband, of her first husband, who she divorced. And so I didn't have a problem with that. I thought Nan was a great character. And I really liked seeing the development of her character, and the story goes back to Nan's youth, and you really are kind of taken through her life, and that explains why she ends up doing what she does in the book. The issue that I had is that Nan is saying what Agatha Christie said and what she thought about certain things when Nan isn't actually there with her. So, for example, Agatha Christie discovers that her husband is going to leave her. Well, Nan isn't there. Nan's just saying, Agatha was distraught, and threw a book across the room or whatever. So this is explained by a couple of sentences at one point where Nan actually says, I expect you're wondering. Yeah, it's something like, I expect you're wondering how I know what Agatha was feeling at this point, but it's because I knew her so well that I can imagine perfectly what she was thinking. Something along those lines, which just didn't sit right with me. And honestly, when it's a story called The Christie Affair, I kind of want it from Agatha Christie's point of view. But Nan was a very interesting character, and I get why it's from Nan's point of view. I just don't think that she could really tell what Agatha was thinking. Hence the confusion. You can see how confused I am. So yeah, it was a really, really interesting read. I really like the 1920s as an era to read about, and yeah, recommended. Just, yeah, a little bit a little bit confused. So there we go. Yeah, that is what I read in August. I'm really looking forward to really getting stuck into my birthday books next month, in particular Yellowface and The Fourth Wing, and I have the new Ali Hazelwood as well. So that should be really, really great. Do let me know if you've read any of the books that I have talked about today. And what you thought of them in the comments, or if you've read anything great recently that you think that I should try, or if you've read anything terrible, tell me that as well. That could be interesting. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that you have enjoyed hearing me wittering on in my garden. I may actually need to go and take some painkillers for all these aches and pains now, but after that I'm going to go and walk my dogs, and that'll help. Walk it off. We'll walk it off. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one.